Be ready for spring with RNS Doors and Gates. For the month of February, have RNS replace one spring and get the second spring installed for half price. Call the experts at RNS Doors at 800-FIX-A-DOOR or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red
close games. And, we really came out strong, in the first quarter, especially in the first half. And when you do build a lead like that, the other team, gets a little looser. They shoot the ball a little freer. And that's when you have to really continue to execute and continue to put your foot on the gas. And I thought the way that we finished the game, we got going again. We got running again. And it's a little counterintuitive when the game gets tight. Sometimes you want to, try to manage the game. And we need to continue to try to run and play.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
Yeah, Quinn, that's actually what I wanted to ask you about. It seemed like the game kind of started going against you when the offense got a little stagnant and the transition and the fast break opportunities dried up. What did you say to the team to kind of let them know that was, what you needed them to do to get going again?
Yeah, I think they knew. I think we all knew. Sometimes when you build a big lead like that, the whole kind of narrative becomes like, what happened because you didn't win by 30. And, these are NBA teams. They're good teams. There's going to be runs, and I think the big thing for us is to make that hard. Like I said, when you get ahead, the other team, they just put their head down and start attacking you. So I think we started actually rebounding better in the second half. That's really what hurt us in the first half. But, like I said, that we got stops late, which I think is the big thing, where we, really focused and raised our level defensively. And then we were able to get some good looks, Boyan got a couple, but we had a number of really good looks, in the fourth quarter that didn't go in, that would have stretched the game further. And when those shots don't go in, you just have to keep working. And really that's when your defense becomes even more important, especially late in the game.
Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Quinn, you talked a couple of games ago about the value of learning how to play with the lead. Is there value in games like this too, where that lead does go away? You haven't had one slip from 28-4 like this yet.
Well, it got back up to whatever the final was. So there's going to be runs. And I think the answer is yes. But as I said, I think sometimes, the expectation is that, you're up, a lot and you win by a lot. And that's just, if you, as you guys do, you follow NBA games, it's sometimes being up 20s is hard. And there's a lot of NBA games when teams are up early and they lose the game. So I thought, in spite of the fact that they came back, like I said, they're a good team. They started making shots. Grant got going. Jackson had a really good game. Making jumpers. So I think the thing that we have to understand is, our offense can't hurt our defense. And I thought they got out in transition too much during that stretch. And we had some empty possessions, and that's what you have to guard against. And I think for us, when you get ahead, there's just a tendency to slow down a little bit. And we have to keep pushing the ball because that's who we are.
All right, last question, Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
When you've talked before about the importance of accuracy when passing, and you had a lot of really impressive passes tonight from a lot of different guys, how valuable is it that you don't have to just rely on Donovan or Mike to be the facilitators on this team? You got a lot of other guys that can make their targets.
Yeah, it's important, and I think, Donovan and Mike also with their ability to create, A lot of times I don't want us to overpass. I think there's times when, as you said, if we make an accurate pass, we'll get a shot, and that's that accuracy of the pass and throwing strikes, as we like to call it, is really, really important for our team, because if you have an open shot, we want to shoot against those closeouts, and the passing allows us to do that.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, there's Jazz head coach Quinn Snyder. And, Tim, he doesn't seem all that concerned about the blown lead and going from 28 down to 4. In fact, almost seemed to relish a little adversity for his team.
Yeah, I feel that way too. And when your team does fight a team off like that, again, you never want to give up a lead like that. But the bottom line is you had the lead, and the game's played, for the amount of time it's played, and the Jazz figured out a way to finish it. And that's the most important thing. Plus it does help you, make some plays in a game that really at one point seemed like it was going to be a blowout, and they actually had to make a couple plays down the stretch, which never hurts. And a guy like Bojan to get some confidence, that's stuff that you can really actually look at a different way and say we got something good out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bogdanovich is a guy who had to hit 2 game-winning threes last year. So he's somebody that you could lean on in those closing minutes for some big shots. So absolutely get a little work down the stretch in there with some shots that matter.
Yeah, and the other thing I loved about what he said is he talked about throwing strikes. We used to say swish your pass, just like you try to shoot a shot and make sure it's great. You want to put that ball right where these guys can get it. And that's one thing I've noticed with this team. If you watch, they really do pride themselves on trying to throw a great pass that guys can shoot from.
Boy, who was it? It was it Bogdanovich who really threaded the needle to Donovan Mitchell beautiful. Tonight? That pass in the first half. I mean, that was really something.
I'm guessing he didn't see the safety, because the guy on the backside was right there. But Bojan, I guarantee he saw that first guy and kind of timed it up and actually threw a strike. It was beautiful.
And then the other thing Coach Snyder mentioned, listen, Jeremy Grant got it going. I mean, he is a really good player. He had 27 tonight on 9 of 18 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. He's playing really well for this Pistons team, and he was not playing well in the first half. And when a player like that gets it going a little bit, it's going to make a difference.
And that's the part, I'm just saying, you have to give the Jazz a credit for that first half and the way they guarded him, their attention to detail. Again, every team, I don't care who you play, everybody's going to make a run, and you probably – human nature says you're going to relax a little bit. But, again, the end objective is to win the game, and the Jazz did that. And I think that's why Quinn sounds like he's, again, it's another opportunity to win a game, put it in the right column, and get ready for the next one.
All right, we want to remind you to go where love takes you in the all-new, completely redesigned 2021 Subaru Outback, available now. Mark Miller Subaru, the official Subaru partner of the Utah Jazz. Learn more at markmillersubaru.com. Jazz win 117-105 over the Detroit Pistons. We'll get you some player sound coming up next right here on the Jazz Radio Network.
Gentlemen.